All right, so you'll see a link. I'm not sure if link or insert a document in Microsoft Word document. And before you proceed through the video, make sure and open that. So you should have a screen that looks like this, a document that looks like this. Okay, and so let me just give you a little bit of background on what your assignment is on this. Okay, so what you're going to do is, again, you have 20 minutes. You can take more, it's fine, right? I mean, if you 20 minutes is probably not enough for this assignment, and purposefully so. That's why I did it for me in the job interview, right? 20 minutes to redesign or reformat or whatever you want to make this a more effective communication. This is a memo that's sent from Kelly, whoever Kelly is, to from John. John is you, market research assistant. Kelly's an executive. Okay, so remember purpose, audience, strategy, and structure, and then remember the 4 A's in this, okay? So your attention, agenda, argument, and action. Right, so you want to make them pay attention to this. So what you can do anything you want, right? It needs to have the same information, but not necessarily the same words. So if it were me and I were to do this again, and I were a student, I would do something like read it through and then create an effective format for them to go through it. So go ahead, hit pause on the video, don't cheat, and go forward. Your learning will be affected if you just look at what I've done. And what I've done isn't necessarily the best, but it's what I did when I did my job interview. Before reading any of the theories or concepts of this book, this is what I composed when I was before I began teaching this class. This is how I would have typically done the email to my marketing executive or whoever, whatever type of executive. So go ahead, do your edits. Again, you can change it however you want. Just make sure that the information says the same things. Like, for example, that it has the Friends and Seinfeld are, that, and this is our ratings. You'll need to have those things in there. You can't just say, this is better because I think so. Okay, so just kind of keep that structure of the information of the email the same, but you can get rid of words, you can change paragraphs, you can add whatever. That's up to you. Okay, so here's what I did, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so this is the raw deal, right? This is straight from my application to BYU, right? They asked me to apply, but if I not done well, then obviously I probably wouldn't be here. Okay, so let me show you what I did. Here's the first one. Check this out. Okay, versus second one. Which one would you prefer to read? Okay, content is the same, and I'll show you a couple things that I did. Okay, so market research, media analysis, show that this. Okay, this is what the basic information, and here's my. So this is the attention. Okay, and here's the agenda. Here are the findings from our research. Number 1, this. Number 2, this. And these headings basically explain the 1 and the 2. Okay? And I added these headings and I put them in bold. And you don't necessarily have to put them in bold. You can put them italic or different fonts or whatever, right? And you'll see when we get to the font chapters, etc., that's not necessarily my expertise, and so you'll do an exercise that helps you on that. Okay? So you have this reality television advertising, and here's the information on that. Okay, and even now I'm like, oh, this paragraph might even be a little bit long. Now that I've taught the class for so long, and maybe a little, but not too bad. Okay, and then here's a separated sentence that shows, the main point of this. In order to keep them needs to more efficiently reach our target market, I'd recommend doing this. Okay, again, recommending, not saying you have to. Okay, this is what I would recommend because you're a research assistant and they are the executive, so send them their recommendations. Okay, advertising on the internet, and then I gave them a quick paragraph on that. And in case they didn't pay attention at all, right, to this or this, here's my recommendation, and wrap it up, okay? And then obviously I'd usually put a complimentary close in here, okay? Leverage more efficiently, reach our target. Our advertising campaigns will have a better chance of succeeding. And now that I've done this a lot more, I probably would say may there, not will. I wouldn't overpromise on that. But yeah, so there's from this, okay? Yuck. Look at that. Ew. Gross. Nobody wants to read that. Not even me. And I wrote it. No, actually, I didn't write that one. I wrote this one. To this, okay? A lot easier to understand, a lot more comprehensive, or a lot more coherent, easy to skim, and you'll get a much better chance of people reading this one, the second one here, than you would people reading that one. Okay? Well, that's our lecture for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you are becoming more aware of the grammar in your email, becoming more aware of the structure of your email, your audience, your agenda, your audience, your strategy, your structure, the purpose of the email, right? You can see how easy it is to identify the purpose of this email here. And then obviously making sure that visually they want to get into the email that you've written. So giving them a visual map with headings is a great way, and concise, being concise. The word is concision, but I don't like the word concision. I'm not sure why. This is a strange one. Anyway, but being concise is also vital to people paying attention, and not only paying attention, but comprehending what you're writing. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it's helpful. If you have any questions, let me or Heather know. And good luck becoming a much more effective email writer.